I'm a purpose guy. Like, if I'm gonna get a dog, I don't want it to just sit on my lap and just sit there and just be a little lap dog. Like, my mom's had those. I'm not talking trash about them, but she's had too many Yorkies that do nothing.
Hey friends, it's your girl Emily Curl. We are back here at iHeartRadio Studios and we are hanging out with country music artist Chase Rice. Can we give it up for Chase? Our whole audience is here. We're kicking off the new year, Chase. You got your whole audience. This is good.
Oh, they were loud there. I like that.
You are our first interview of 2023. How are your holidays? How was everything?
It was good. I spent time in North Carolina, went home, saw family, did all that. But I was off for like 2 months before that.
Oh, really?
In my mind, I was like, let's take off November and December, and I'll never do that again. I've been losing my mind. Because usually when you're off, you're like, all right, now I'll start writing or I'll record a few. I was doing nothing.
That's kind of good. You need a reset, but for you, you're like, that was the one I needed.
It made me realize I don't need that long of a reset, which is good. So, yeah, it's been good, though.
Well, now you're back here in New York City. You're releasing new music, first and foremost. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I Hate Cowboys and All Dogs Go to Hell, your new album. It's so exciting.
We were just talking about dogs.
Yeah, we were. Your dog, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the album. You kind of give a little tribute to him, right?
He's on the back of the vinyl. Mm-hmm. My dad's on the front. All Dogs Go to Hell is obviously, I played I Hate Cowboys this morning. Yep. So that's out now. But All Dogs Go to Hell is kind of the similar deal. It's like, it's a web of lies. All dogs, you get it pretty quick. They don't go to hell. The first line is actually, everybody knows the devil went down to Florida, and everybody knows everybody goes roll tide up in Georgia.
Oh.
So it's a little web of lies going on in that song, but it's, I'm really excited about this record.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I got to listen to the full album yesterday. And here are my first thoughts. First off, it's so good, but I feel like it's so introspective and vulnerable and thoughtful and maybe a little slower than past projects you've done. Tell me about the whole album as a whole.
Well, I wrote it on acoustic guitar. I feel like the last 10 years for my music and Nashville in general, but especially for my music, was a little more track leaning. And that was not on purpose. That was just the times. And I was brand new to it. So it was like, hey, I guess this is what I'm doing. But I always loved writing songs on an acoustic guitar. I always felt like my songs were better when I did that. They're more real. And that's probably why it's a little slower, because I'm just better at writing slow songs on an acoustic guitar. But it's still got some bangers on there, Way Down Yonder type stuff, and Sorry Mama, and Bad Day to Be a Cold Beer. That's going to be fun live. But yeah, it definitely has more real stuff on it. I've done a decent job of showing that over the years, but I think this is the first record that I've ever pieced together that it was just completely different the way we wrote it. Too. It was like, this is the first one I pieced together that shows a lot of who I am. And like you said, vulnerable. Like, I don't even like saying that word. But when I'm doing music now, I know, I'm trying. But it's the way we recorded it too was 2 weeks in my house, one producer. We were locked in for 2 weeks instead of like 3 songs at a time or 2 songs at a time. So.
And that just felt like the right thing to do at this time, or was that intentional that you wanted to do it this way?
It started with Jay Joyce, who's, Miranda, Church, all those guys, Laney. And Jay's big thing was, doesn't matter if you have a demo of it, I need you to play it into your phone on a guitar. So I started doing that with him, shifted over to Oscar Charles, and Oscar was the exact same way. He was like, I don't want to hear demos, man. Let's start everything from scratch. And then we did Key West in Colorado with a click, which is keeps you on rhythm. Then we did All Dogs Go to Hell without one. And then we did the rest of the album without one and went back and re-recorded Key West in Colorado without one. And that just, like, that's how raw it is. Wow. To do one without a click is kind of nuts because, there's no tempo. There's no grid. When we do it live, like, it's just about how you feel. If you're playing it faster than you normally would, just slow it down a bit.
Oh,
so it's more raw for sure.
Let's talk about the album cover. You mentioned this. Your dad's on the cover, and this was a really personal time for you. Why did you feel like this was the right time that you wanted to honor your dad in this way?
I think it was the music first of all. I wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for my dad to be on the cover if I'm playing Ride or Lonely If You Are, Eyes on You. It just wouldn't make sense at all. It's like, oh, that's interesting. But this music is a lot more real and raw and vulnerable, like you said. And it dives in. There's one song called For a Day that's supposed to be a hidden track. I didn't think about the fact, like, I don't think you can do hidden tracks anymore with streaming. It's not like you put the tape in and, oh, there's another song I didn't know was there. But there's a song called For a Day that's about him. I just dove into stuff that I've dealt with on this record more than I ever have. And I'm sure that I'll keep going on the next album, but I just felt like the music was perfect especially having a song called I Hate Cowboys. It just felt right to, first of all, you got to have somewhat of a cowboy picture on there to make sure they know, like,
And that's a good
okay, so he doesn't
photo.
really hate Cowboys.
That's a good photo.
Double fist in the banquets. Yeah, just everything was perfect for that cover.
Tell us about your dad. How would you describe him?
Tough, real, true, honest. He was just one of them older, tough guys. Like everything, the way that people are arguing these days on Twitter, Instagram, social media, like he wouldn't have a part of that. He would tell you straight to your face what he thought, and you weren't going to change his mind. Like he wasn't going to waver from who he was ever.
Do you feel like you're a lot like him?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he would be the worst superstar ever, which is why I get
Do you
so
feel like
much.
you're bad at it?
Hell yeah, I'm not good at this. I speak my mind too much, but that's who I am, and it's never going to change.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be the guy that's going to sit here and try to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what's going on in my life and what's real for me. The thing about it is I didn't get into this to be a star or anything like that, and I think there's obviously way bigger stars than me. I'm in it now for the right, especially now these days for the right reason. I care about the music. That's it. If I could go out and sing a show, put albums out, and have zero fame, that'd be the best of all scenarios.
Now, did you guys grow up listening to country music together? Who was his favorite artist? Did you have an album that you listened to?
No, we didn't have albums. We had one jukebox that had, I mean, it was all over the place because it was just random jukebox that we had. I still have it in my house. It has like Elvis on it. It has You've Lost That Love and Feeling. It's got Willie. It's got Patsy Cline. Yeah. But my brothers really got me into music early. It was Chris Ledoux first. That was my first memory of music. Then it was Garth. Then it was George Strait. Then it was Chesney. Yeah. So that's what I listened to. I didn't listen to anything other than like 90s country on.
Oh, that's the best though, 90s country.
Yeah.
Let's also talk, you mentioned Jack earlier. Jack, your dog, who's a big part of your life. Tell me a little about when you first got Jack and how he's changed your life.
He's the best dog I've ever been around. Like, it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts how good he is because he's got the best of both worlds. You get a hunting dog, they can sometimes be a robot, which is what he is, a hunting dog. And then you get a dog that can be a house dog. So the guy was like, the guy that helped me train him and got him into the duck scene he said, your first 6 months, don't train him at all. Let him be a puppy and just socialize him. He said, just socialize him. He said, just make sure he's around as much as he can possibly be around. I was like, you do realize this dog's going on tour, right? Like, he's going to see
a real social dog.
And he is the most social dog I've ever seen. But then when he locks it into hunt mode, he's that.
So you did train him after that? And
oh,
he
yeah.
was good?
After 6 months, he trained hard.
So is that why you got him? You wanted a hunting dog and he just became your best friend?
Well, I didn't want a robot. I wanted it to be a good dog, which is hard to do, but I'm a purpose guy. Like, if I'm going to get a dog, I don't want it to just sit on my lap and just sit there and just be a little lap dog. Like, my mom's had those. I'm not talking trash about them, but she's had too many Yorkies that do nothing.
They're tiny.
Like, come on, Mom. In my mind, I never had a dog.
Shit talking Yorkies on iHeartRadio. How dare you?
Mom, they were rats. They weren't dogs. She's going to see that and be mad, but whatever. So anyway, yeah, I wanted a dog that's like, okay, why do I have this dog? There's got to be something more he can do than just be a dog. And just being a dog, that's 99% of dogs. But for me, I wanted something more than that.
Yeah. And you said he sort of changed your mind about commitment and different things too. Like, how else has he changed you as a person?
Well, I have responsibility now for the first time probably in a long time. Like, when you're a single dude that lives by himself, you start doing whatever the hell you want in life. And I don't think that's really great for everybody. It's not good for me. So now I've got some responsibility with Jack, and it's just, you got a buddy, you know, it's like I was describing my dad, it's hard to show sometimes who you really are and the vulnerable thing. But then he gets around, if you see videos of me and him, like if you just happen to catch a video, like I become a little kid again. It's cool.
Brings out the best in you. That's great.
He's awesome.
I love that. Well, you dedicate some songs to him again, and the album is so good. So tell us a little bit more about this next year. Can we expect more music videos, more tour? What can we look forward to?
We're touring. Way Down Yonder tour starts in March. I'll play most of the I Hate Cowboys and All Dogs Go to Hell record. I'll play some hits and all that, but I don't really fully know what it's going to look like yet because we haven't pieced that
You're still in
show
prep mode.
together yet.
It's not yet. Okay. Is Jack coming on this tour?
Oh, yeah. He'll be on the road. Yeah, as much as possible.
What about the Yorkies?
No, we're not having any more Yorkies. So my mom, she just lost Harley. She lost Nike way back. That was like when I was a kid. She just lost Harley after like 15, 16 years. So now I'm threatening her by telling her I'm going to get her a little puppy. She's like, no more dogs for me. It's my last one, so I might get her.
Yeah, just see her. There you go. And what about music videos? Can we look forward to some more?
Yeah, we got I Hate Cowboys just came out today. We got a Bench Seat. That's the one I've been dreading filming because I wrote the song. It's about a guy and his dog. You wouldn't necessarily even know that if you heard the song.
You know what? I had to listen to it a couple of times because I was picking up on the lyrics. Yeah.
It's actually about a guy and his dog, and it's a true story about one of my best buddies and his dog. And he literally put a gun to his head and almost pulled the trigger. Depression, a lot of stuff was going on in his life. And I was just with him 2-3 weeks ago. He's doing insanely well. He's
good.
With a girl that he's going to marry, and he's just happy. He's doing much better. But that dog looked at him when he did that and did the little head tilt, and came up and put his face on his leg. It was just like, damn, okay. And I didn't know that's where he was. And he came to my place and stayed at my place for a while. Told me that. It's like, okay. And he got help. He did what he needed to do to get help. But that's what that song's about. He was joking. He was like, dude, you should write a song about a guy driving around his truck with his dog. And I was like, well, that's the most cliche country song I've ever heard. But I called him 3 days later and I wrote it.
What did he say
I
when
said,
you heard
man,
the
it's
song?
not going to be what you're going to expect. And he said he cried. It's a real song. And there's a twist in the end that you may not fully understand. For me, I'm not going to let people hear that song without seeing the music video first. You should do that with some songs. You shouldn't with others. This one's, I had the video in my head when we wrote the song, or when I wrote the song.
Really?
And so that's why I'm like dreading filming this thing, because I got a lot of different parts that I'm going to play in it. And I really have to believe what's going on in the song, which won't be hard because I just got to make sure that I can go there on camera.
Right. Yeah. How do you get in that mode? Do you enjoy that process? Like, do you enjoy acting and doing things like that?
I've never really done it like this. So we'll see. I've really got it in my head what this dude has gone through, because I've gone through it in my life. Yeah. Garrett's gone through it in his. And to be honest, I'm coming home from Oklahoma on a duck hunt with Jack the night before, and I'm gonna get drunk. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm gonna get drunk because there's something that happens to me when I hear this song when I'm hungover that takes me back to that. Really? It's like a darker place. And so when you're hungover and I hear it, it's just the first day of filming, I'm gonna be hungover. Wow. It's gonna suck.
So that's the method. That's
method acting at its finest, I guess. And a lot of people would say you're crazy for that, but
hey, what works, you know?
See.
It's like gets you in the right space.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to see that video, and we're excited for everything. Once again, Chase, congratulations. Thank you for being here. We can't wait to see everything to come. Can we give it up one more time for Chase Rice in the building? I Hate Cowboys is out now. Go stream it, and we'll see you guys next time.